properties, but only if you are willing to do seller financing.
I'm not certain I understand what the problem is here. I'm no apologist for the hedge funds. In fact, you can go back and look at my body of work. I don't own with the hedge funds, but how exactly is this any different from what the banks do? Right? So it's somehow different if the banks print a bunch of money from nothing and lend it to you, and if you don't pay back the loan, they repossess the house and sell it to somebody else. How exactly is that any different in practice from like a seller financing arrangement? As a business owner myself, I mean, I've been in business for what, 35 years now, 36 years now, and the I do off the shelf deals all the time, as long as they make sense financially. Now you could say like, well, the interest rates are going to be ridiculous. Probably, they probably will be ridiculous, and nobody should agree to that. You should be pushing for like 2% interest rate, 2% interest rates. That, or they can bring the price of the house way, way down. That's the only reason they're doing this financing gimmicks, is because they can't sell the house to somebody because they have to sell it at a loss. No different than all these boomers out there that are delusional, thinking that they're gonna buy, they're gonna buy their 15th home, and someday in the future, maybe they're gonna sell it off for some huge. They're gonna hold out for the big bucks. Dude, come on. This is, I mean, I run into these people all the time. They're delusional. They're in their 70s and thinking that, like, for whatever reason, they're going to live another 100 years or something like that on the money they make from this. It's like this is just madness from what I'm seeing. But in practice, how is that any real different from banking? No, I mean, if you actually, as an agent, if you wanna do something, why don't you start pushing back? Like, hey, we'll do seller financing. Let's lower that interest rate down. Let's get it down to seriously 2 points. 2 points. Two. Now you're like, well, that's ridiculous. I pay 1.62 on my seller financed property that I bought. 1.62%. And I also got a deal on the property. So it can be done. There are sellers out there that are starting to understand that, like, dude, real estate ain't it, chief. There's just better things that you can be doing with your money than anything to do with real estate. Real estate is going to start dying here very soon, right along with all the fucking boomers. So, I mean, I'm just telling you that if you wanted to, and I did a video on this. I want to say, somebody asked me on a live stream I did a while back about, they were in real estate, and they asked like what my thoughts were on what they should do for real estate. I would lean into this. If you're an agent, I would stop what you're doing and lean into this and think about this a little differently and start pushing back on these sellers and say, okay, yeah, hey, we'll agree to your full price offer of you want to sell it for 400, some garbage house that isn't worth 100 grand that you couldn't even give me for $100,000. I wouldn't even take it. We'll pay your $280,000 or $400,000 for your garbage house at 1% interest, seller financed, and it has to go through escrow and everything. It's all going to be up and up. It's all going to be on the legit. And then it's like, how is that any different? You're just cutting the banks out of the deal. Who cares about the banks? Nobody cares about the banks. The banks need to go bankrupt. So I'm just telling you, I don't understand where this is coming from. It's like, I don't understand how it's any different in practice. No, just push for lower interest rates. Push for, or tell them to go. They say, we want to have a 14% interest rate or some crazy nonsense they're going to want. Okay, great. Then drop that house down to about 65 grand where it should be. That's it. It's just a negotiation issue because these hedge funds know they're trapped. They know they can't sell these properties. They can't. They've way overbought. The market is so insanely overbought. You can't import enough people. You can't import enough H-1Bs and illegals to support any of this now, especially since wages are flat. They price themselves completely out of the market. They've been out of the market for the last 15 years. Why do you think people who've actually, former landlords, myself, are former landlords and have no interest in going back in until we can buy something at a reasonable price and bring the prices down, bring rents down? That takes talent and skill to do that. It doesn't take any talent or skill to bring prices up. That's easy. Just overpay for something and then demand more money and then scream, you're not working hard enough and people just don't want to work and blah, blah, blah. All that boomer crap. Yeah, that's all you got to do. It's like, it's a bunch of whining, entitled nonsense. No, I'm by the way, I'm not frustrated with you or your video. I'm just pointing out, it's like, from business standpoint, I would lean into that and say, okay, great. Let me go talk to all these people who can't qualify at banks because banks are federally regulated. And federally regulated means they want to see a bunch of money in taxes. That's all that means. That's in the final analysis. All they care about is, did you pay a bunch of money in taxes so we can loan your own money back to you? That's it. Federal Reserve and the banking system, and like it's a closed system. So there you go. I hope that helps, but just keep in mind, lean into that, push back hard, drop the interest rates down, crush these people. They know they're screwed. Hedge funds know they're screwed. They know. They're all trying to get out of real estate now and divest it because they've got to, they're looking at other stuff like, well, the orange internet money that we can't talk about on the internet because then nobody sees the video. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do now. They're all trying to shift away from real estate and the carrying costs involved.